As I said at the top of the show, the shooting of conservative commentator Charlie Kirk has sent shockwaves not just through the United States, but around the world. Sadly, it points to the growing spectre of violence creeping into our politics, largely directed at conservatives.
It's a long past time for all Americans and the media to confront the fact that violence and murder are the tragic consequence of demonizing those with whom you disagree day after day, year after year, in the most hateful and despicable way possible. For years, those on the radical left have compared wonderful Americans like Charlie to Nazis.
Joining me now, White House reporter at the New York Post, Diana Narozzi. Thank you for joining me tonight for what your president, Diana, has called a dark moment in American life. Just explain to my viewers what Charlie Kirk's impact was within the conservative movement, but particularly when it comes to younger voters.
Yeah, Charlie Kirk was one of the #1 people that was engaging with young Republicans and the Trump movement over a decade. He was the founder of TPUSA, the biggest political movement of young Republicans in the country. And countless people before and after his death have been talking about what an impact that he made on them. People in the Trump White House right now linked up with him early on in their careers, and they really built that out based on their relationship with him and the things that he was saying.
Look, you're right. I've long followed his social media account, Turning Point, and I've always admired his bravery because he didn't just, like, some of us do, deliver his commentary from the safety of a studio or the pages of a newspaper. I mean, he actively went into the lion's den, onto university campuses and tried to engage in the debate the way it was when I went to uni, when it really was a battle of ideas. And sadly, though, that's all fallen away.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, looking back at his Twitter page, he was active before he was 18 years old. And he was famous for going out there and having debates with people that hated him and had drastically opposing political opinions. And of course, tragically, he was in a debate when he was shot by someone who probably didn't agree with his opinions.
We heard in the intro some of President Trump's comments from earlier in the day, and I mean, clearly his administration's been rocked by this murder. I'm sure the president personally too has felt the effects today, given the attempt on his own life during the election campaign. How do you think this is going to change things for conservatives engaging in public life? I mean, what's it going to mean in terms of security and safety at political events?
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. And I know that the shock and, horror from the administration was really felt. You could see that in President Trump's message. I called him after the shooting and he seemed so somber and, of course, so sad to hear that his friend had died in such a way. And he himself mentioned the assassination attempt on him during his remarks to the people. So I think this really hits home for the president. And I know that Susie Wiles, Trump's chief of staff, I heard that she sent out a memo after the shooting, just comforting the White House staff, many of whom were friends with Charlie. And she said that, they should continue speaking out, having their voice heard. But she did say that they should use a little bit more caution in this time as investigators try to figure out what happened.
Look, I have to admit, I'm a conservative in Australia and sadly no stranger to threats and the usual abuse we cop. If a conservative has a view on any issue, they're not just wrong, according to the left, they're morally bad. Now, I still don't feel that way about people on the left that I might disagree with. I mightn't agree with what they say, but I don't think they're all bad people. What makes it so different for conservative voices? I mean, why have we lost the ability to civilly disagree?
I mean, unfortunately, of course, I hope that isn't true, but time and time again, we see political violence, especially in the United States. And oftentimes it does come from the left. There is this sense of hatred towards people who hold more conservative opinions. And Charlie never engaged in violence. And as we spoke about, he was very open about engaging in debates with students. That was something that he was really passionate about. And someone took it in their own hands to silence him in that way, which is obviously horrific and extremely unfortunate.